Yo, visit WRSPN.com or I'll kick your newborn and push your mom down the steps.
WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app.
What's going on, basketball heads out there, and welcome to another edition of Court Vision, brought to you as usual by War Room Sports in conjunction with Sports Kings. I'm one of your hosts at the round table. I got the homies with me. I got Andy of Sports Kings.
Papoose is not better than Jay-Z.
I got Frank of Sports Kings.
Yo, ask yourself every day, do you listen to music or do you just skim through it?
I got B. Austin, War Room
No.
Sports.
I'm nice like a Craig Sager suit. Shout out to him. Get well, Craig.
Well,
Craig Sager suit. Nice. We got Jimmy from War Room Sports.
Yo, rest in peace to Marvin Gaye, Peter Tosh, and Free Beanie Siegel.
No doubt. And Ruben Hurricane Carter.
Yo, rest in peace to Ruben Hurricane Carter, yo. And
Hurricane.
All right, so we all know the NBA playoffs are upon us. We already did our first round playoff preview show. If you guys want to check that out, that's at warroomsportstv.com. Just check that out so you can see who we picked for the first round. But today we're coming at you guys with our regular season awards. Now, this isn't necessarily who we think are going to win. I mean, some of the things may line up because some awards are just, it's just obvious who's going to win some of them. But this is who we think should win. So we're going to start it off with the Coach of the Year. So who wants to start with their Coach of the Year?
Greg Popovich. Shout out to Dwayne Casey, though.
You going with Pop?
Yeah.
I think Pop is the dude. Like we talked about the other day, Jimmy was saying how Popovich is the type of dude who could basically win this award every year, but never really does. He was definitely on my short list. I'm giving it to Thibodeau in Chicago. I think for the last 2 years, and this is not a 2-year award, but we'll go with this year. Again, he's had to coach the whole season with tons of adversity. You lose Derrick Rose early in the season. Early in the season, first he was trying to get Derrick Rose acclimated. He's trying to get him back in the mix.
Yo, who is Derrick Rose?
Exactly. And before that could even happen, he's hurt again. Tibbs is back to square one. He's balling out. He got you guys talking about Joakim Noah as an MVP candidate. I got to give it to Tibbs. If not for anything else but that, I got to give it to Tibbs.
Gap-toothed wonder.
Stop dissing my man Joakim, man.
Exactly. I actually went a different direction. I didn't go with Tibbs or Pop, though obviously both deserving. They both are kidnapping families, holding them hostage so their teams can play D or else. I went with Jeff Hornacek. I actually thought it was a fairly obvious pick, even though it looks like he's not going to win it. This team was supposed to be one of the worst teams in the league. Like, literally, people were like, I'd be surprised if they win 20 games. And they competed in a tough Western Conference. He had Goran Dragic playing at an insane level. And he was without Bledsoe a lot of the season. For the Suns, for Jeff Hornacek to have that Suns team, that roster playing at that high a level, I don't even think it's a question he's Coach of the Year.
But Goran Dragic is a member of Spetsnaz, man. He's taking over the Ukraine, so I expect it.
Yo, real quick, I will never give Jeff Hornacek anything at all ever in life because he came here from Barkley to Philly, and I don't forgive him for that, and he has nothing to do with the decision, but FOS to Jeff Hornacek. With that being said, I'm giving it to Popovich because I don't know how they bounced back the way they did. Like I said before, I don't know how they bounced back from Game 6 to even compete in Game 7, let alone come back this season and get the number 1 seed, because I would have just pretty much quit life after what happened in Game 6 last year because they had the series and the championship won.
Yo, they're old, they're boring, they're demoralized, they got beat up by the Heat. How are they still this good?
Yo, because they're robots.
So I give it to Popovich based on that, man. Thibodeau is one of those guys that could also win every year. He's playing with a bunch of cats from the YMCA, and they still compete at a high level, and they play defense unlike any other team I've ever seen, with the exception of maybe the Bad Boys and some of those Celtic teams. But outside of that, they play defense tough.
They will hold you to 35.
They play defense the entire game. Sometimes
but they might not score 30.
This
Yeah.
is true, and that's the problem. The problem is they put up football numbers.
No, they depend on DJ Augustine, and again, he's not better than me.
Before I give my pick, though, I just want to know what's B. Austin eating, and can I get some?
Whoa there.
Yo, I'm kind of hungry.
I was about to ask B. Austin why he's eating. But
Yo, what's wrong with him, man?
I wasn't going to question whether or not they're hungry. My pick is I like all the picks. I'd obviously thought about Popovich long. I mean, he's the best coach year in and year out, it seems like. And actually, I thought about Tibbs too. But at the end of the day, I got to agree with Frank. I think it's Jeff Hornacek.
Hold on, you guys never agree though.
Well, we agree right now. It's written down too, man. I actually show you. But I think he did a phenomenal job. I'm agreeing with him because we write for the same network here. But no,
if you're not reading sports-kings.com, kill yourself.
Yeah, go away.
Right now.
He's done a great job this season. I mean, with it, like Frank said, I mean, I'm just going to echo everything that Frank said about him, overachieving essentially. They did that without the guy we thought was going to be their best player, Bledsoe, and he's kind of got an army of okay players at the 4 and the 5. The Morris twins.
First of all, Andy, and this is no diss to Bledsoe, but that's already saying something for Hornacek if he went into the season thinking Bledsoe was his best player. That's already.
Wouldn't you have thought Bledsoe was the best player on their roster?
Absolutely.
No, I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying, but you're already behind the 8 ball.
Oh, for sure.
Going to the season.
I hear you, but at the end of the day, it's like, the guys that Thibodeau has aren't that much better than the guys in Phoenix.
They're not better.
But I mean, they do have a guy that had a bunch of you screaming for, third in the MVP race, and a guy who we're probably going to talk about is, coming up here soon.
I will say, in Thibodeau's defense, he does have Hornacek has guys with actual athleticism and actually that know how to score a basketball. So I guess you could definitely.
I mean, another thing that hits for me with Hornacek is Hornacek is we didn't really know what he could do. I think we all know what Popovich and Tibbs can do. Not say that should count against
them. They get penalized for that.
But that's exactly the point. They get penalized for being good. Like you said, Pop's the best coach year in and year out. So basically, FOH because you're always good.
Hold on. None of y'all voted for Mike Woodson or Brett Brown, man.
Mike Woodson's not a coach in the league right at this point, yo.
I mean, my vote needs to be for Kevin McHale after last night.
Yo, you see what Brett Brown did this season?
Putting up with that team.
Salute to Mike Woodson because he's just on the beach right now. Like, they got to pay me, boy.
$3.4 million.
Getting that check.
Yeah. But Brett Brown did y'all see what he had to go through this season? Come on, man, you got to vote for Brett Brown, coach of the year.
No, but seriously, I definitely respect the Hornacek pick because I'm just being petty because, he didn't end up making the playoffs. He makes the playoffs. What I think of his coaching job probably goes up like tenfold, but they sold out.
Sure.
And even I did tell you guys mid-season that they were going to fall in the playoffs.
He did. None of y'all were interested in Dwayne Casey and up north of the border or FOH still?
Nah.
Dwayne Casey did a great job. No doubt. I just don't.
Sure.
I mean, compared to the other guys we mentioned.
Everybody can't win it, so.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I would like to nominate Frank Vogel for not physically harming anybody on that roster.
My question is this, and maybe you guys don't know the answer. Has a coach ever won Coach of the Year and their team didn't make the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know. I would imagine not.
But that's why I didn't vote for Hornacek.
No.
So with that being said, FOH to Hornacek.
All right. Well, let's move on to the defensive side of the ball. Defensive Player of the Year. I'm gonna tell you guys, I got Mr. MVP candidate Joakim Noah. He was my candidate from the start of the season till now. I mean, you have people who got some consideration, people like Roy Hibbert, but I can't really respect a 7'2" dude who averages like 6 rebounds. Rebounding is a part of defense, at least defensive rebounding is. So.
I was going to ask you that. Do you think rebounding is part of defense?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, Joakim Noah for me. I just wanted to take a time out to give props to the voters because, we did hear from some quote-unquote sources that Joakim Noah probably will win the Defensive Player of the Year. And remember, our awards are who we think should win, so it really doesn't matter. but I would like to give the voters some props if he does indeed win, because LeBron James has been campaigning for the last 2 seasons for this award, and I just thought that every voter was going to fold under that pressure and just give it to LeBron because LeBron feels like he should win it.
Nike check wasn't big enough.
So, shout out to the voters for having some nuts.
I mean, I'll go next because anybody that's watched like 30 seconds of any Core Vision episode knows that Joe Kim, that's my boy, Gap Tooth Wonder, Mr. I'm schooling you with my hair in a bun, the triple-double and hustle man. Yo, that's the defensive player of the year. The hate is real. Andy's about to slander him, but, yo, don't listen.
Yo, before Andy slanders him, I also want to give my vote for Joakim Noah. I thought they were going to also cave and give the award to LeBron, but Joakim Noah is my pick for Defensive Player of the Year. He's part of the reason why Chicago's in the playoffs and why Tibbs should be mentioned at least for Coach of the Year. Because, I mean, listen, he's created a new position in the NBA. He's the point center. So when you can play point center, you can grab rebounds, get blocks, and you hustle on defense, yo. Joakim Noah, man.
Now all he has to do is do it against the Wizards.
Yo, shout out, because my man Nene is putting it. Yo, he is killing him. Yo, shout out to Serge Ibaka, shout out to Roy Hibbert, shout out to Andre Iguodala. Those are all names that I think should be mentioned in the Defensive Player of the Year consideration. But yeah, it's definitely the Frenchman from Brooklyn.
Hey, B. Austin, question: Is he why does he get a pass for rocking a bun in the NBA?
Because I think honestly, I think he was going to F LeBron up, so that's why I give him a pass.
So if you tough with a bun, that's cool.
No, I don't think.
I mean, because usually if you tough with a bun, Jay-Z just put you on that Summer Jam.
Yo, he just doesn't want his hair to get in the way when he's about to throw down. That's all. He's like, he doesn't.
Listen, man.
Why hasn't he been put on that Summer Jam screen?
He doesn't necessarily act like he has a bun.
Yo, Jimmy's got a point.
But he has to go.
Listen, Steven Seagal rocked a bun and caught all kinds of bodies. So
yo, my man caught bodies with no kicks.
Yeah, but he let Perkins punk him out of a locker room though. So I don't know. Perkins ain't tough.
Yeah, Perkins ain't tough. Perkins shouldn't be alive.
He just play a tough guy on TV. He's not tough.
Yo,
you don't got bars like that.
All right, so B. Austin, your pick is for Joakim Noah, right?
Absolutely.
Perkins don't bust his gun.
All right, so we saved it the last one for Andy because he wants to slander Joakim.
Who you gonna pick, Andy?
You guys are gonna be disappointed because I have Joakim Noah as well.
What?
He flip-flopped.
It's the right pick. No, I don't even have any.
Is that Andy? John? Who's that?
I thought of some guys. I mean, I thought Marc Gasol was maybe a decent dark horse just because of how well Memphis did when he came back, how poorly they were doing without him. But other than that, I don't really have a lot. I didn't really have much on my short list. I mean, Noah earned it this year. There's really nothing else to say about it.
Okay,
but he's still a borderline goofball, though.
No, real talk though. Shout out to DeAndre Jordan. I think deserves at least consideration. I mean, I think it was clearly Joe Kim, but I think DeAndre did a good enough job where you can be like.
I mean, I think there's guys. Jimmy or B. Austin named a few too, but I mean, Noah was just so far ahead of everybody else. I mean,
Frank,
it's realistic.
DeAndre Jordan shoots foul shots so bad.
Oh God!
He can't be defensively. Yeah. He can't be defensive player of the year because
Did
of
y'all take the air ball the other day in Game 1?
Yeah.
Come on, man. All right, so let's go to most improved player. Jimmy, you want to start us off on that?
Yo, my most improved player, right? And I know a lot of times this goes to someone who was a bum and now is not a bum, and they still maybe a borderline bum. But I'm going to go with Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis took his game from this level to an entire different level where some were saying he's one of the best big men in the league at this point. He's still a fairly young player. The sky's the limit. But I think the way he improved from last season to this season was tremendous. So I have him as the most improved player.
I have Anthony Davis as well, and I agree with your sentiment. I mean, his scoring went up almost 7 points. I mean, same thing with my man, Goran. I'm not going to try to say his last name, but my man out in Phoenix, he got a lot of consideration from me on this one as well. But as Goran's scoring went up, it seems like everything else went down a little bit. And that doesn't mean you can't get most improved player because he was, in a pure sense, a very improved player, and his impact on the Phoenix Suns, showed that, even if some of his statistics went down. But Anthony Davis, yeah, like Jimmy said, like he was a good player, a good rookie with a lot of potential who just took it to another level this season. I mean, had some of you guys question, I think somebody just asked on the show one day, like, is he better than Kevin Love or something like that? I think we had that discussion one day. So if he's getting that in his second year, if he's even getting questioned in the second year, props to Anthony Davis.
Yeah, my man B. Austin over there drawing.
B. Austin would disagree.
Yo, man. B. Austin, take that down, B, for you.
You go on my man Goran Ivan Drago.
Yo.
You gotta get that out of here. This is like Dev with his who do you have? Juwan Blair?
Juwan Blair night.
Oh man.
I got some more stuff. I found the program.
This is too much.
My man Goran Dragic is a member of Spetsnaz, and he's able to play in the NBA and also fight in the Ukraine. So I'm definitely going with him as the most improved player in the league this season because impact on the game. Now, shout out to Jim for the Anthony Davis pick, because my man Anthony Davis went from being very good to like top 3. Like he's top 3 big men in the world, and it's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, he is. Yo, he's tough, yo. What can he not do? He's one of those dudes where you ask yourself, what's his weakness?
So for you also, who is like I think you would say LaMarcus Aldridge, Kevin Love, and Blake Griffin are top 3 power forwards. So who's he better than?
He ain't better than them dudes. LaMarcus will give him 48 and 16 or 48.
I think he's all over Kevin Love's case. All over him.
All over his case, huh?
Why are you hating on the white guy, man?
I actually have come around to Andy's side. After watching like several Timberwolves games because Kevin Love puts up numbers, but they're like completely meaningless. He's not a difference maker. So like I understand where Andy comes from, and the whole thing with he doesn't have a lot of. I get that too. I get his team.
You know what's starting to increasingly bother me? What's starting to bother me about Kevin Love a little bit, and this might be like a little nitpicky, like maybe like a technicality, but he doesn't play a traditional power forward position more like the other guys do. Like, the post game, LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin both have a better post game than Kevin Love now, and it's just when he's out there shooting threes, I don't know. Like, with the argument he's the best power forward, it's a little weird.
Rebounding is undervalued, I think, sometimes, and I think he does a great job there. Obviously,
he's really not a difference maker,
But Anthony Davis is young, and I think of the 4 guys we're talking about, he's like the rawest at this point.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
He's a difference maker. He changes games. Like Kevin Love just puts up meaningless numbers.
The reason that I will accept your argument, Andy, for the young dude over Kevin Love is defensively, Kevin Love has some deficiencies.
I'm not even saying over him. I'm just saying he's there. Like, he's right on his heels. I mean, I would still probably say Kevin Love is 3rd for me. But Anthony Davis
when you get in 24 and 14, it's kind of ludicrous to say he doesn't no impact. Like, he has 24 and 14. Like,
no way am I going to sit here and say that he's not a difference maker.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Minnesota still won 40 games in the Western Conference with that terrible team. I'm not going to say he's not a difference maker.
In my opinion, he's not
a little bit.
They depend on Jimmy. They depend on Alexis Fed. Come on, dude.
I'm giving you my opinion. In my opinion, be watching that game, he doesn't make a difference. He puts up numbers. But at the same time, I seen Chris Gatling average 20. So this saying because you put up numbers, he's not a difference maker in my opinion.
I just noticed that the Timberwolves won 40 games in the Western Conference.
Well, sure, but I think he makes
in the East. He's a difference maker.
I think he makes a difference.
They're not
but I get what
to me, he's not a difference maker. Which say, Andy?
I get what Jimmy's saying. I mean, not 100%. I think he does make a difference. I mean, I think J.J. Barrera makes a difference when he comes into a game at points too. But at the same time, I just don't feel like the difference he's making is going to overall make a total difference as far as the Timberwolves being a playoff team. He sort of reminds me a little bit of like Kyrie Irving at a different position, like putting up great stats. Sure, he can take over games at points in stretches, but overall, I mean, that team is still on the outside.
I mean, he's not gonna put a team on.
And also because he can't play defense the same way. I think if you switch him and Anthony Davis, I think that's a better team there. I really do.
I would say next. I think
Not
Anthony Davis arrived this year, so I think next year that'll be true. I think
Man,
Eventually,
built
that's
a
a
team
I'm
to-
saying it
to-
right here, right now. F next year, right now. Put him on that team. They're a better team.
But Jimmy, that's
Strictly
easy to say. That's
strictly because of him on
speculative.
the
He's not on
defensive
that
side.
team. There's
I
no way for
definitely-
you to prove that.
I know he's not on that team.
There's no way for you to prove
Speculation.
that, and there's no way for us to prove that it's not.
There's no way
I
to prove
definitely
it.
agree with what Jimmy said.
Either. We're all
So it's like-
speculating. I'm just
I
saying.
agree. I
How
agree.
is it? Wait, time out. How
This
is there
is
no way
because this
to
is-
prove
this-
he's a difference maker?
This is all opinion. I mean, the
plays
same way he
every
said
night.
Barrera.
40 games isn't in the
Plays
paint.
every night. They won
40 games is
Are
in
you
the
going to say
opinion, so
they?
he's the reason
are you
they
gonna
won
say
40
minute-
games?
Alexis
The
Fernandez.
primary reason, yes.
No, I mean, listen, man. I don't think so. I'm
It's the
giving you my
primary-
opinion.
Who's the primary reason Minnesota won 40 games then?
The primary reason they won 40 games? They
Yeah.
have a ton of players. I mean, he's their
Corey
best
Brewer.
player. Obviously,
Really?
he's their best player. But he's not a difference maker.
Point then. He's the best
You want
player.
me to go through, you want me to go through their entire roster? I can go through their entire roster if you want to take up that time and do
Go
that.
ahead.
I definitely
I ain't
will.
got
I'll
nowhere
pull
to
their
go.
roster up. I'll pull their roster
I
up.
ain't got nowhere to go. You got to name a bunch of bums and tell me that they're a bigger difference maker than Kevin.
I didn't say I said he's the best player on the
Well,
team.
pull
I said
up
he's not a
that
difference
bum-ass
maker.
roster and show me why
will. I'll pull
he's
up
not
Minnesota's
the
entire
primary
roster.
difference maker on that team.
Yo, Devin Jimmy are
I
having
said-
a
No,
Jimmy
I
B
said
All-Star.
he's their best player. He's
Now.
definitely
You're
their
getting
best
real
player. That's
cliche
without
with it.
being said.
How
But
the hell is
he's
he
not
not a
better than
difference
Anthony
maker?
Davis.
If you're saying he's not a person that's going to carry a team on his back to the playoffs in the Western
My point was, if you put Anthony Davis on that team, and of course it's speculation, that's all it is. But I say they will have more wins, primarily because he plays defense. He's the
if I was
difference
7
maker.
foot tall,
He
I'd be in the
he can
NBA.
change the flow and tempo of a game where Kevin Love can't.
If
Kevin
I was
Love can
hungry
put up
right now,
numbers.
I'd go get something to eat. Like
Absolutely.
None of that means anything.
Part of what we
None
do
of that
is
means
speculate.
anything.
And part of what we do is speculation.
But what does it? But I'm not speculating that he's the best player on the team. That's
But
not.
I said that, though. I never disagreed with that, though. I never said he
But we're
wasn't their
talking
best
about-
player.
We're talking about making a difference. Now you're
Impact.
telling me if Kevin Love, if he drops off that team, they're gonna win the same.
No,
amount
guess
of
what?
games.
They're still not going to make the playoffs like he's never done it before.
Hey,
anyway.
but they're the Minnesota Timberwolves. They don't have a
You
roster
act
that's
like,
worthy
you
of
act like
making
they're
the
going to be in
playoffs.
a whole lot worse position than they already are if he's off that team. He's a
Record-wise,
loser.
they would. Record-wise, they
He's
would.
a loser, so what's the difference?
Yo, Jimmy, he's
But you're
directly.
saying that as if that's gonna insult me. I'm not
I'm
Kevin
not
Love.
trying to insult you. I'm
He
not
is
trying
a
to insult you.
loser.
I'm just keeping it
He
real.
is a loser.
So the fact of the
But your
matter
point
is he's
is-
not a difference maker. If you take him off that team, they're
Why
the
is he
same
not a
as they are
difference
with
maker?
him.
Just
No,
because they
but
don't make the,
40
just because they haven't made the playoffs?
Yo,
Listen.
40 wins though. 40 wins get you in the playoffs in the East.
Yeah, but he's not in the East.
Okay, but you're acting like 40 wins isn't 40.
But he's not in the East. What's the difference of talking about whether he's in the East? He's not in the East.
I'm still waiting for you to run off this All-Star roster.
I never said they had an all-star roster.
You said you about to run it off and tell me why he's such not a difference maker. He's the
No,
best
what I
player on
said
that
is-
bum-ass team.
I told you again. I said he's the best player, but he's not a difference
You
maker.
said I watch the games and he doesn't make a difference.
He doesn't make a difference. He puts up meaningless stats.
Okay. He does. He
don't
doesn't
win
make
games.
a difference.
They don't win games. He's not a difference maker. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Are they still playing B. Austin?
No, they're not.
Is that the only?
No, FOA.
Okay, Jim. If that's the only measure of making a difference, then you're completely right.
No.
That's the only
If
thing.
they're still playing right now, if playoffs is the
No,
only
since he's been playing, have they been a winning team since he's been on that team?
have they had a good team since he's been on that team?
But I'm saying if
Let's
take
talk
him,
about the whole thing though.
But let's
not
talk
put it
about
all on
let,
him.
let's talk about being a difference maker though. Now if I take him off that team and let's say I put
Yo, this is
Durant
great.
or LeBron on that team,
This
do they
is great
win more than
TV.
40 games?
Come on, man. Whoever. Now you're saying Durant and LeBron.
I'm
They'll
asking
make,
you. I'm
they
still-
make
I'm
any
still
team in the
speculating.
league better.
Okay, now I'm
They
telling you
make
the
the
same
Bucks
thing.
better.
But what,
Like,
but
come
what
on,
I'm
now.
telling you
he's
is
not Durant. He's not LeBron.
See, but
Like,
you want to engage
Durant.
in that debate, but you want to engage in the Anthony Davis debate. My point is, you put Anthony
I
Davis in
wanna-
place of him,
Come on, because you're going
But-
Durant.
but you're
Well,
still
hold on.
speculating with LeBron and Durant. Are you not? Are you not speculating with LeBron and Durant?
You're
Anthony-
speculating. Period.
Are you not speculating when you say LeBron and Durant will make?
I didn't say it, Jimmy. You said it.
I'm asking you. You are willing to
You
engage
said
in
it.
that
I didn't
though.
say it. What are you talking about?
You said, listen. You said they will make any team better. That's what you said. You said that, not me.
But you brought their names up, Jay.
But what I'm saying is you're willing to engage in the conversation of LeBron.
But we're going to
and Durant
talk
making
about
better.
LeBron and Durant and Anthony Davis and Kevin
Because
Love.
my point
it's
is,
like you're dealing in extremes
no,
now.
my point is
Dealing
you're
in
willing
extremes.
you're willing to say that LeBron and Durant will make a team better, which is still speculation, but you're not willing to say Anthony Davis will? Isn't that still speculation?
But Anthony
At
Davis.
this point, I don't
didn't make
think
the
Anthony
playoffs.
Davis is better than Kevin Love. So
No,
Anthony-
but what I'm saying,
Anthony
you
Davis
said
is
I
that
think
we
LeBron
can't.
and Durant are way better than Kevin
Yeah,
Love.
but what I'm saying is it's still speculation. My whole point was
Hey,
that
you brought him up, though,
Anthony
Jay.
Davis.
I didn't bring up a bunch of phantom.
But what I'm saying is you were willing to engage in that. You acknowledge that LeBron and Durant will make them better.
That's the point you're going on, man.
My point
Bring
is,
something up,
my
and
point is,
depending on
my
which
point is
one I
this.
answer, it's on me now.
No, because
bring them up.
I did bring them up. I brought them up to prove my point. The point is, he's not a difference maker. I can give you 10 players I put on the team, and the team is better off than with Kevin Love.
Did Anthony Davis's team make
And you
the
can't
playoffs?
prove any of them.
Did Anthony Davis?
Whether I agree with you or not, you can't prove any of them. I can agree with you. You can say LeBron, Durant, Michael Jordan. I can say, yeah, Jim, you're right. And we can't prove any of it.
Okay,
But
and you can't prove that he's a difference
all
maker because they won 40 games.
It's conjecture. It's conjecture. That's all.
That
it
was my
is.
point from the beginning. My point from
No,
the
you
beginning
the
was
one
that.
bringing up phantom names. How's that your
I'm
point?
not bringing up phantom names. The point of this conversation was Anthony Davis is better than Kevin Love. Kevin Love, in my opinion, as we started this, is not a difference maker. And that's based upon me watching him play, put up meaningless stats. He doesn't change the flow of the game. He doesn't bring energy to the game. He just puts up numbers. He's a loser.
They would win.
If you put Anthony Davis
I
on
never
the team
disagree with
or
that.
anybody else,
I never disagree with that. He plays
But-
for
but-
Minnesota. They're all losers.
Jimmy, did Anthony
Never
Davis'
disagree
team
with
make did Anthony Davis's team make the playoffs?
They had a worse
Absolutely
record
not.
than Minnesota.
absolutely not.
So where's the difference in that? They
Because
Don't they have-
I'm saying,
don't they have
I'm
more
saying,
talent?
I'm saying
Don't they
player
have
for
more
player.
talent? Don't they have more talent than Minnesota?
I mean,
It's
that's
only
I
Anthony
mean,
Davis'
that's
second
up
year
to
in the
you.
league.
I take Drew over Rubio.
Drew Holiday.
I take
Probably didn't play though. He didn't play at the same.
Yeah, he didn't play a lick though. I don't think they're any better. It's close.
So, most improved player.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
me just doing like 50 minutes long.
I thought about
I
picking
gave
it.
my opinion. I think the ball stinks, man.
I know, but
Actually,
then we also just asked you a really
here
good
we
question,
go.
and you got real quiet.
What question was that? What
What did
question was
Anthony
that?
Davis's team
No,
do?
I told you they didn't make the playoffs. I said player for player. If you switch him, they will make the playoffs. That was my point.
So half
They'd
an
be a
hour.
better team based upon defense.
So half an hour ago,
I'll
when,
take you on
when
your
Jimmy
question.
mentioned,
Well, why he got to switch teams? Why can't he do it with his own team?
I mean, there's various reasons. First of all, his team
Minnesota
wasn't-
won more games than them.
Yeah, first of all, his
Good
team wasn't healthy.
Whose team was it?
Whose team wasn't healthy? Anthony Davis' team wasn't
Everybody
healthy.
in Minnesota played every game.
I mean, I can't give you them. I'm just trying to pull their stats up. Y'all keep coming at me. I'm going to keep coming. I haven't got their roster up yet. I'm here all night, doggy. Let's go. The
Yo,
Bulls are
Minnesota stinks. Their roster probably not available on the internet. Yo, did everybody pick, man?
no, I don't think.
No, I don't.
Jimmy, I'm bad.
We didn't make it anywhere. You
All
can
right.
ask me that question. Did you guys go?
All right, go ahead. Who y'all got?
I actually, like Jimmy said about 3 hours ago now, when they talk about the most improved player award being like a bum that's now good, if you're talking about that, then I would give it to Joe Green. But if we're talking about the actual most improved player, I give it to Blake Griffin. I think the strides that he's made in his game and just what he's added to his game overall from last year to this year, I definitely think that he's a candidate, though obviously Anthony Davis was on my list as well.
The funny thing about this whole thing is me and Jimmy picked the same player. We picked the same player for the category.
And it's about to get more weird too because Santos and I agree again. I had Blake Griffin.
The Twilight Zone.
Chris Paul going down was huge. I almost feel like that helped Blake. Not to say that he wouldn't have still evolved into a better player this season, but definitely having to lead that charge and take over that team when Chris Paul is out, I think worked wonders for the young fella. But yeah, Anthony Davis, shout out to him. That's my boy too. But yeah, Blake Griffin is a different kind of beast right now.
Just
Shout out to
so
Blake
just so
Griffin
we
and
can
Griffin
get to
Force because that new commercial is hilarious.
tough. The Minnesota Timberwolves roster consists of Jose Barea, Corey Brewer,
got it.
Chase Budinger, Dante Cunningham,
Longer.
Gorgo Dean, Robbie.
You haven't even named a bad player yet, though.
Robbie Hummel.
He has named a good one.
Robbie Hummel, Otheus Jeffers, Kevin Martin, Luke Boomshay Boomamote,
Kill the D-League.
Shabazz Muhammad, Nicola
Shabazz Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum.
Ricky Rubio, Alexei Shved, and Ronnie Turiaf.
That team's not half bad. I'm not even. I'm completely serious.
The Timberwolves and the Hornets both stink. Bottom line.
They do both stink, but I mean, it's not the worst roster.
Our viewers,
I can conjure up.
we're grown ass men.
Yeah, because the Bucks and
we
the
don't
Sixers
refer
are
to
in the
them.
league.
We don't refer to them as the Pelicans.
There's a ton of bad rosters out
Oh,
there.
my bad. I didn't even call them the Pelicans.
Yeah, we don't call them the Pelicans. We grown ass men. They're the
All right, man. Let's go to sixth man of the year. We can start off with B. Austin because we know where this is going.
Yo, the best six man that ever played a game next to Vinnie Johnson.
True.
It's,
Next to me, I'm about to say.
Yeah, next to Vinnie Johnson is Jamal Crawford, and he should win the award every year. And I'm done.
I thought we liked defense on this show.
What about Michael Coop?
That's not what the six man is for.
Coop.
Your six man can't play defense?
No, he's in there.
That's supposed to.
Michael Cooper was there to pick up for Magic slack, so I actually consider him a half of a starter. He's a half of a starter.
Now we're going after Ned. Oh, no.
All right. Well, I knew who B. Austin was going with, but I'm actually going with the same dude, Jamal Crawford. I was thinking about Gibson in Chicago. I was thinking about I'm looking this way at my list right here. And Manu, of course, but Crawford, that 18.6 a game off the bench.
Yeah, that's hard to ignore.
So I'm gonna go with Jamal Crawford again.
He scored enough. He scored enough to get in the Hall of Fame. Joe Dumars got in the Hall of Fame.
Yo, my pick is Taj Gibson. Another reason why that team is competitive. So I'm just going to, I'm rolling with Taj Gibson for sixth man of the year.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
And also, Michael Cooper never guarded Magic's man, by the way. That's factually inaccurate. Just want to put that on the record.
But yeah, Taj, like we was talking about on the podcast the other day, Taj, he's Boozer's backup, but he actually gets like the fourth quarter minutes, over Boozer. So
More impact.
He's more important to that team when it counts. So
I don't know if y'all knew this, but Boozer actually gets showered and dressed at the end of the third, so he's not even available in the fourth.
Does he go in and paint on his hair?
Yeah, they said
puts this stuff in
47 games this year. Carlos Boozer hasn't played a minute in the fourth quarter.
He's dressed.
I thought it was a two-man race between the two people you guys have named. Real quick, Markieff Morris thought he should win the sixth man, and he's clearly hanging out.
He thought wrong.
He was hanging out with Lamar Odom too.
Lamar Odom. You should have just let me finish that sentence.
But I think real quick, you shouldn't even be in the six-man discussion if you don't play the majority of the fourth quarter. Like you shouldn't even. We don't even mention your name. But I also went with Jamal Crawford. I just think that the difference he makes for that team is just huge. You can't ignore 18.6 points per game off the bench, even though all he does is shoot.
I mean, he takes 14 shots off the bench.
Not only that, but he's really their crunch time guy. Like that's the guy they go to for buckets late. So
plus you have to take that into consideration. If your coach trusts you to come off the bench and take 14 shots, then you must be doing something.
He's a gun.
Well, I mean, we all know what Jamal Crawford can do. I mean, there's really no secret. He was doing it. He did it in New York. He did it in Atlanta. I mean,
what did Jimmy call Monte Ellis? That Jamal Crawford's like his mentor. The Call of Duty.
Call of Duty guard.
Jimmy's all Call of Duty team.
Yeah, he's definitely an all Call of Duty team. He's also on the James Harden team in non-defense.
But
he's not that bad.
Criminal negligence.
He gets the big shots though. I mean, we've seen him do it. I mean, I remember him and Joe Johnson would like terrorize teams late in games when they were in Atlanta together because both of them didn't care. They would shoot from half court. I have Taj Gibson though too. I think he's the spark plug for that team. He's the energy guy, the hustle guy. We mentioned how he steals Boozer's cookies late in games like it's his job. I just think he's too valuable to that team who relies on defense and energy. Too bad he can't score like 20 because they could really use that. They need Jamal Crawford. They should switch six.
The Bulls really do. If the Bulls had Jamal Crawford, they might be a fringe contender in the East.
At least they'd be getting up shots. I mean, you
Really,
can't.
all they need now is Nate Robinson.
Jamal Crawford might give Tom Thibodeau a heart attack though. Like, he might just pass out.
Tom Thibodeau like about to have a heart attack.
Is going to have to cooperate with management and letting them put some offense on that team.
Thibodeau might cut Crawford in the preseason for not playing defense, though. He ain't about that. He is not about that. Like, you got to play defense on this squad. Yeah, you got to play defense on that squad.
I think the way he coaches Jimmy, I think his team defense will be good enough to take a flyer on a known scorer who can't really play D, i.e. Carmelo Anthony next year maybe.
It's the same thing. What you're talking about is the same thing that Nate Robinson was last year. Bad defender on a good team defense.
But I think there's a huge difference between Carmelo Anthony.
Hold up though, and you see they didn't fight hard to keep Nate either.
Yo, he was your playoff hero. And 2 days later,
at least a guy like Carmelo Anthony, though, if he's in that system, the one thing he will do on defense is eat space. I mean, Jamal Crawford's like $120.
Thibodeau was out there trying to win games like he in the NFC East, man. Like, it's not about that score.
Thibodeau has no shame. If he can win a game 19-20, he's cool with that. Like 19-20, it is.
A win is a win.
Football scores. All right, so let's go to Rookie of the Year, and we're gonna start this one with Frank.
I know why.
Since the Rookie of the Year should be playing in Turkey, who you got, Frank?
I got Victor. I got Michael Carter Williams. I can't hate on him that much.
I'm gonna give him this trophy before I send him off to Turkey.
You know the worst thing. The worst thing about my Michael Carter Williams hate is like I'm a Syracuse fan. Like that's the team I root for in college. So like
that's why you didn't like him.
That's why I didn't like him because he was trash at Syracuse. So I didn't think he was going to be good in the league. I completely underestimated.
You know the college game and the NBA game might as well be two different sports.
I fell for the rope-a-dope.
I know a lot of Syracuse fans around here didn't like Michael Carter Williams.
You know, a lot of college coaches be trying to teach structure and defense.
I just thought he was going to turn the ball over. I thought he was going to have like 7 turnovers a game.
I think the history of Syracuse, man, and looking at Michael Carter Williams, he just didn't fit the mold. Like he's more of an El DeBarge type player, and they were used to Johnny Flynn and Deion Waiters and.
Real quick, even though I picked Michael Carter Williams, shout out to Mason Plumlee doing Brooklyn Pride.
He's tough.
He's a spark plug.
He's tough.
Well, one thing to Frank's preseason analysis. I think Michael Carter Williams would have played with some better teammates had he gone to Turkey.
He wouldn't have played with Casper Ware.
Shout out! I also have Michael Carter Williams. I'm sorry for the brother because anybody that contributed to that team winning early on was shipped out right away. They wanted no parts of winning. They got rid of
Jimmy saying he was this close to getting traded.
If the season was about 90 games, he'd have been gone.
Good for this team, son. It's like you outkicked your coverage on this team. We're gonna have to
let you go. You see cats have like a couple games where they put up double figures and next thing you know they sit out 4 games. Like he got the stomach flu. He can't play.
They
wanted no parts of winning.
They signed my man Casper Ware, who was a defensive specialist in the YMCA league. Like,
my man Nerlens Noel was doing like sprints around the stadium. My knee's healthy. My knee's healthy. They're like, no, you can chill.
You gotta wait. You gotta hold up.
You can chill.
They wouldn't let good players play. All right, so is that unanimous? Michael Carter Williams?
Yeah, shout out to Vic and Victor Oladipo and the Plumlees, but it's MCW.
I want to say shout out to Andy, for picking him preseason.
I also want to say how bad was this class though in terms of rookies?
Yeah,
someone told me this might be the second worst in the history of the entire draft.
It was supposed to be bad though, so I mean.
Like this historically bad though. I think someone said that,
maybe not that bad, but I mean it was supposed to be bad.
I think I was reading the only one that was worse is possibly 2000 when the best player to come out was like Kenyon Martin
went first.
Well, is the number 1 pick still in the league?
From 2000. Yeah, I think it was Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin floating around
Kenyon
somewhere.
Martin.
I'm talking about this year.
Still cash and cash.
Stan and
Money?
Anthony Bennett out yet? Thanks.
Yo, that was my preseason pick for Rookie of the Year.
Actually, I hope he comes back strong next year and just proves everybody wrong. I'm rooting for him.
I hope he comes back 30 pounds lighter.
Yeah, I hope
I hope
in
he comes
the
back
summer
and
they-
learns how to play and knows, that he's a basketball player.
personally
I hope in the summer they
comeback.
move into a cabin with like the nearest McDonald's is like 50 miles away.
I hope he doesn't come back at all. Just go away.
I mean, we're gonna go.
What's the next
MVP
award?
is this unanimous? I'm going with Kevin Durant, and I think he fully earned it. I don't think it's like we're tired of giving it to LeBron thing because LeBron balled out, and hey, it's not over yet. I mean, the season's over, but the voting hasn't gone down yet, so it's still possible that LeBron could get it. But I'm going with Kevin Durant on this one.
I'm also going with
Stamped
Durant.
it.
Yo, I just want to mention Blake Griffin's name because before the season we killed him. After the
Yeah,
first couple games, we
disrespectful.
killed him. Because he still was drawing, trying to like play point guard. But
Dribbling through
as
his
the
legs.
season progressed, like he's gotten better. And his stamina is crazy. Dude, plays every minute. But got to give him a shout out because he's definitely in the running, probably second or third, depending upon who you ask. But
Shout out to
Durant. Yeah, Durant's the winner. Durant's definitely the winner of the MVP.
I think that it's clearly Joakim Noah, and you guys need to open your eyes and get your lives right. Shout out to Blake Griffin for all the slander we sent his way. It was just constructive criticism, and I think that it's really proof that he listens to War Room Sports. He reads the Sports Kings, and he took heed to what we were trying to tell him. I mean, he obviously is a supporter and a fan of our program.
See, you know what happened? What happened, B. Austin, is unlike everybody else in the NBA. Like we just tried to talk to him. We weren't trying to elbow him in the mouth or anything. We just, we just said, sit down, listen, young fellow. We'll teach you the ways. And he, he's receptive today because he's used to people just like trying to take their day out on him there. But
Kevin Durant will win the
obviously,
MVP.
I took him on a father-son field trip type thing. Showed him a couple moves. That's where he got the post game from. You didn't know either. But yeah, I choose Durant too. I mean, as far as Blake Griffin goes, he's still kind of molding into that superstar. He's going to be one of those guys who wows us for like 30 minutes, and then for 5 minutes we shake our head because he's trying behind the back passes and things of that nature. But in the sense, kind of, he's one of those guys. He's so athletic that I think it's hard for him to kind of figure out in his own mind what he should be doing because he's like, yo, I've done this before. I've taken the ball coast to coast between the legs. I might be Steve Nash.
Ask Timothy Mozgov what I can do.
Yeah, he'll figure it out, I think, and he'll be like, hey, I shouldn't do that, because Doc's gonna put me on the bench if I do. But yeah, but as far as MVP, it's Kevin Durant all the way.
Real quick, we need a separate award for what Steve Nash did this season. We need like its own category. It needs to be called the Steve Nash Award. Like
we're going to call that the what's the dude's name from Ocean's 11? Danny Ocean. Danny Ocean. Yeah, that's the Danny Ocean Award for robbery. So shout out to Steve Nash who won the inaugural.
I never thought Gilbert Arenas would be dethroned off the Danny Ocean Award, but Steve Nash, he did something special.
Gilbert Arenas is in the Hall of Fame as a Danny Ocean Award, a lifetime Danny Ocean Award. But this year, I agree. I agree. And Kevin Garnett is almost at that point where he may next year get the Danny Ocean Award.
Yeah,
we're gonna have that's gonna be the Marla Maples Award. Just getting checks.
Yeah. Shout out to Mimi Faust.
Yo, shower curtains everywhere.
All right, B. I heard you were trying to say something, so let that fly so we can go. You was about to say something about Gilbert.
Yeah, Gilbert earned that check. He earned the check. He just once he got it, he started shooting guns.
Yeah, but he's still getting the check, and he don't even play in the NBA. So he's definitely in the Hall of Fame.
You're like at least Joe Johnson's still on the court.
Yo, Gilbert
This dude is still getting like
Gilbert is like
$25 million a year.
Like the fourth.
Even Rashard Lewis is still playing meaningful basketball.
Yo, do you realize that Gilbert Arenas was like the 6th highest paid player in the league this year?
Yeah.
He was the highest player out of the league this year. Highest paid.
That's true, yo. Matt Geiger got paid for like 30 years too.
Yeah. Six is still paying him. All right, so
shout to Billy King, yo.
I know.
Giving money away.
You're gonna do all that and then take his act to Brooklyn. I hope he tear y'all apart too. Anyway, this has been a very long award show. That's me and Jimmy's bad, but when y'all see the eye-popping 72-minute video, don't get afraid. Just watch it. Like I said, if you want to check out our playoff preview, our initial one, you can check that out also at WarRoomSportsTV.com. Everybody just sit back, watch the playoffs, and we'll be back at you guys next week with another edition of Court Vision to talk about everything that's happening. We won't be able to talk about round 2 yet because round 1 is 3 weeks long these days. So for Andy, B. Austin, Frank, and Jimmy, I'm Dev. This has been another episode of Court Vision, brought to you as usual by War Room Sports in conjunction with the Sports Kings. Like the video, comment on the video, give us your award winners. Don't just give us, don't wait until they actually give the awards and say that was my pick. Write in the comment section who you think should win the awards. Holla at us. Like we always tell you guys, don't accept mediocrity and be steadfast in the war against ignorance.
See you chumps on top.
Kuwait, it's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.